Well, Howard, what does it feel like to be a character in an opera? Your mother a character in the opera, your story in an opera.
This could become addictive. It's amazing. I won't go on too long, but last week, a couple weeks, we were doing rehearsals in Seattle. So when I went to the first rehearsal, I assumed that the music was beautiful because I received the score from Tom, and I'd read it, and I assumed the singers were going to be great because I know who they are. What I didn't realize with these singers are also great actors. And so when I watched that rehearsal, and I've watched these performances ever since, I feel that I am not watching just an opera or just a dramatic play. I'm seeing scenes from my life. I'm watching my life play out here because everything that happens here, that you'll see happens here, did happen. And to me, it's been a very moving and bittersweet experience because there's joy and pain in this.
Tom, tell us about composing the opera. Were there any unique compositional challenges that you faced with this work?
There were tremendous challenges because these words are so important and so beautiful and so elevated, and they're intimidating to try and find how to make that work. And so I struggled for a long time. What am I going to do? And then at a certain point, a tune went into my brain that I knew and I loved. And because a lot of this opera is about childhood, about Howard's mother's childhood and about Howard's childhood. And so into my brain, out of nowhere, came a tune from Robert Schumann from the album For the Young, Child Falling Asleep. And I decided I'm going to start this opera with Child Falling Asleep from Robert Schumann, and then take it into dirty it up a little bit, take it into some weird keys and fool around with it and see where it goes. And then it comes back at a certain point. And then when I had that little bit of Schumann and bitonality, I had a world of sound. But I have to say, it's a very odd piece. It's non-linear, it's episodic, and we had the structure of these scenes, each scene interrupted by a musical interlude. Years ago, I was at YADA, the Great Artist Retreat in Saratoga Springs, and 20 years ago, and I was there at the same time with Ned Roram. And at a certain point, we're having a drink, and he says to me, "Tom, what are you working on?" And I said, "I'm writing an opera." This was my first opera I was writing. And he said, "Put in lots of instrumental interludes." Then we got interrupted. Somebody came, we never got to finish. I never got to ask him why. But I just did it, because that's Ned Roram. He said, put him in, I put him in. And since that time, I've come to believe that interludes can either be an interruption and deter you from the story, but I hope in this story, as you hear these incredible instrumentalists, each one of them, when they take their little solo in an interlude, will be telling you, this is how I feel about the story. And I'm going to take you to a deeper place where words don't go. That's the idea behind all of them. But you have to believe in that. As the audience, I'm going to challenge you to believe that the musicians are taking you in these quiet places with no words to that place beyond words.
Thank you. That's stated so eloquently.